It is Saturday night once again. This is the Overnight Mouse Party. I'm being boss, and so far we have Gizzard Gary. How you doing, Gizzard?
Hey man, it doesn't get any better than this. Thanks for having me.
I hope you did some stretching because you might have to do some heavy lifting here.
No. All right, I'm in.
Uh, yeah. I found on Etsy a couple of these. Let me make myself bigger. These little things. They set on whatever you want them. Set them on like that. Like six
You could
bucks.
you could put those on your mantle in your living room. I'm sure your wife would appreciate that.
Oh, I don't think so. But
No?
it, one of these probably will go out in a future giveaway. I got two of them. They're 3D printed.
I like them.
I thought they were cute. I got a Etsy shop that I bought them from. He had a few different sizes and a few different styles. This one's a rifle. There we go, rifle bullet. But he's got rifle bullet with a red tip for a tracer, hollow point, round nose. Um, I think there was one other style. I don't remember exactly what it was. And then three sizes. This is the small, and then there's a regular and a large. I just thought it was kind of cute. And they included a free tiny little duck.
It's too bad it's not a chicken.
Well, it was free, so
You could put them on your dash and pretend you have a Jeep.
no. But we've got G-Webs, gun websites. How are you doing?
Fair to Midland. Thanks for hosting.
Um, yeah. Oh, I was gonna hang on. Let me put out in the chat here. All right. For those who know Patriot in the Dark, I guess his channel got nuked. So
Yep.
here's a link to his new channel he's running for those who might want to resubscribe.
Yeah, I had
Uh,
heard about that.
he said in G-Web's chat earlier that he didn't get any kind of notice, woke up and the channel was just gone. So I think he only has like one video so far. Oops. Hang on.
I say that link takes me to your poll.
Yeah, that's the wrong.
That's a
Let
scam.
me
Get people to take his poll.
Mm-hmm.
let me get rid of that and
Well, it was totally an accident.
yeah, pinned to the top of the chat is a link for the poll. So if you haven't voted, go ahead and vote. While I redo this, Patriot in the Dark. There we go. That's the right one. PITD 776. Sorry about that. Go show him some love. Love. So, what's new with you fellas?
I've been all day at the protests.
Did you go out and see what was going on?
No,
No.
no, I'm just kidding.
Can say there were protests. Not here.
The what was it called? No Kings or something like that.
Oh my God,
I
we're
don't
getting
know.
rid of the king. Oh my God. Can't believe you didn't know there's a giant king.
Huge.
Oops. Let me get over. Yeah. Garage guy said it was no Kings. I don't know. It, for anybody that might not know, there is no king. We haven't had a king in a long, long time. Moose said Gary bought a pink thong.
I didn't know that. Kind of interested.
I was just driving around before, so I heard NPR talking about the rallies and stuff. But it wasn't NPR. It was on the NPR channel, but it was the BBC talking about it. So that's why it's funny listening to them describe it. Hundreds of thousands of people showed up across the country.
I must have missed all the small towns. I drove through at least 4 different cities today. I didn't see any protest.
Except once that I saw a few clips with all the professionally made signs and people repeating chants like they are lost and not concerned about the event. Something tells me they weren't paid enough. Back when newspapers had classified ads, um, both when I was in Eastern Washington, living in Pullman, where WSU is, and in the Olympia area, you would see ads in the classified for paid protesters. Um, I don't remember how much they were paying. This was 20 years ago, but it's been a thing for quite a while.
Oh yeah, for a long, long time. You know, and a couple of bucks is plenty when you're basically homeless or bored or something.
But yeah, I didn't pay any attention to it.
Figure it's trying to create tension, obviously, but then a reason to, be upset. It's something like a fulcrum or a leverage to get a, political or Democrat, I don't know, rally going, or like not rally, but rally cry, like give them something, give them create a fertile place for something to come out of that they can, because they don't really have anything, that is their thing. So maybe that's their point. Like do these rallies or fund these rallies and then see if something comes out of them.
Except once said my girlfriend's sister is a far leftist with no job her entire life, and she participated in those Ukraine ones. I saw a sign at a house and asked where she got it, who paid for it. She got super quiet. That was when the Ukraine kicked off. Um, Something that happened around here, which I thought was odd. It's like it was a day or two after Russia invaded the Ukraine. There was a huge inflatable uh, peace sign with the Ukraine colors, the blue and gold or yellow, whatever it is. Um, which seemed awfully quick. I don't know what the turnaround time is on large inflatable. I mean, it was probably God 20 feet tall. inflatable thing, but somebody made that really fast.
But they've already had it for like Ukrainian pride and some, parade.
I don't know. It's being a peace symbol because it wasn't just like a Ukrainian flag. Well, I don't know. But let me say hello to those who aren't out there so far. Vulcan Rumble wants to know, how do you pack and reheat food for a long Amtrak trip to a gun show? Two Live Moo, Gizzard Gary, Ozzy Osbourne, X Adam 1, Garage Guy, and I think that's everybody who said something so far. So, good evening, good evening. And let me get the banner going here. At the bottom of the screen is an email address, untacticalthoughts@gmail.com. You can send in comments, suggestions, or pictures within reason. And if you do send in, let me know. That way I don't miss your email. And if you watch this in replay, leave a comment. Whatever we talk about, agree with, disagree with. I read all the comments, and they are always appreciated. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Gary said, a wise man once told me there are no barbecue guns, only barbecue holsters.
It's true.
There are no barbecue chips, only barbecue peanuts.
Well, right now there are no guns in barbecue either.
Ooh.
And as soon as the comment comes up, Mr. Bob Domelin is out there. Wants to know, how long is the Amtrak trip, and how hot do you got to get what? Soup in a baggie in your armpit will get warmer than room temperature. And X Adam 1 said, I can see the comments on the YouTube studio, and I just got to wait for them to pop up on the EV Muck side. X Adam 1 said, you have to realize the truth. There is no spoon. Let me hang on. Give me just a second. I'm going to move my YouTube side chat.
Does Gizzard know what that's in reference to? There is no spoon?
I'm guessing not.
No.
Be pretty obscure.
It's the Matrix.
Okay, I've seen it, but it's a long time
Matrix.
ago.
Isn't it Matrix 2?
No, it's the first one. When he goes to see the Oracle, there's a bunch of little kids that have powers.
They're practicing.
And there's a bald little kid dressed kind of like a Buddhist monk. And he says there is no spoon, and he's holding a spoon, and it kind of gets all warpy. And Keanu Reeves, Neo, uses that as a mantra later in the movie. There is no spoon.
Okay. In all fairness, yes, I have seen the movie, but I didn't remember that reference. So.
Boomstick.
Pretty quick.
It's out there. Roy Munson is asking, can you even take guns on a train if you buy them at the show?
I think you can check them, right?
I thought so, but I've never Never taken the train, so I'm not sure.
It depends because it's kind of dependent on where, because you have to leave the train and catch different trains, and different train stations are in, like, for example, there's a train station in Chicago that you have to deal with. I know Barbecue was kind of explaining and said there were some legs of the trip you could, and some legs of the trip is going to be really sketchy. So,
And I was mapping it out to take a train last minute to get to Nebraska. I would have, one of the routes was to take it to, I don't know, like Houston and New Orleans or something, and then go north into Illinois. And then it was going to be like to northern Illinois somewhere. Then you get on a bus for 2 hours, and then you get on another train that takes you from Illinois over to Nebraska. So there's that possibility that on a train they're going to get you off and put you on a bus. And can you imagine that? Now you got to carry guns from a train to a bus to a train again. I mean, I don't know how often that happens, but I did see that happen in the itinerary. But if you volunteer to sit up on top of the train to keep robbers away, I think then you get to ride for free.
Exata 1 is saying there's a train route that you can take apparently from Washington to Florida. Barbecue, for him to go from Pennsylvania to Nebraska was 24 hours. I don't know how long it would be from here to Florida.
What show are we talking about?
What show? What?
I'm assuming we're talking about a gun show. What show are we talking about?
I'm not sure which one Vulcan Rumble's talking about. He did say from Boston to New York to Washington D.C. to Chicago to Reno, you cannot buy at show.
well, the original question was from Roy Munson, I believe, and he says, "Can you even take guns on a train if you buy them at the show?" Well, depends, I suppose, a lot on. Yeah, if they were handguns, you could buy them out of state anyway.
But well, you can always get them shipped
That's true.
to a local FFL.
You go to a show and you buy a slide and a barrel and then a 3D printer, new 3D printer receiver, put it together when you get on the train. Then what do you do? SHOT Show? Yeah, there's nothing, you can't buy nothing at SHOT Show.
Vulcan Rumble said 2 days from Boston to Tampa. And he was talking about SHOT Show. Yeah, SHOT Show is just to show off stuff and make for gun shops to make deals, but they don't do sales, individual sales.
You might get stuff at SHOT Show that you need to take home, but it won't be guns, and it might be, depending on what you do and how successful you are doing it, boxes and boxes, like whole car fulls of stuff sometimes.
I hear SHOT Shows where is a good place to get zipper pulls.
Oh yeah, if you need stuff for promo stuff, if you sweet talk them, yeah, you could take all kinds of stuff home.
And Baron SVG's out there. He said guns are fun. They absolutely are.
I know of at least one company that was tearing down their booth after SHOT Show and wanted to get rid of some of their display racks, and they actually gave them to one of the media to take home. So they didn't want to pack them. So
Roy said, I thought SHOT Show was where you go to collect patches, like trick or treating for patch nerds.
it's probably the best place.
You can definitely do that.
Yep.
Baron said I might actually go to SHOT Show now.
Serps there or something.
If you do go, If you go, take me with you. I'll go with you.
By the way,
Next
if you
time,
want to apply for press credentials, now's the time.
next item one. I couldn't you just get what you get mailed to you? It couldn't you just get what you get and mail it to yourself so you don't have to travel with it?
There people have done that. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's asking, do they do product giveaways at SHOT Show for promo?
Not
At
really.
times. Well, at times, but yeah, not a lot of
Most
that.
of the time, most of them, like if it's something like a company like Adventure Medical that sells first aid kits, like that are the size, like that you're going to put in a backpack pocket. So they're going to sell the first aid kit to somebody, but they're also selling the display that you put in your store, right? Like because somebody's owns a store that's showing up there. So when they go to the show, they're going to have the whole display rack full of first aid kits. Like on the last day, they may say, you know, yeah, we're selling the kits for $10 or something instead of $25, but they're not going to give them away. But they're also they need kits at the next show they're going to, so they don't have any reason to give them away. But like Gizzard's saying, sometimes they'll be like one time, what company was it? I think it was FN or HK. This was at NRA, I think, and they were taking down their booth and saying something, and I asked them, hey, can I get one of them posters? And they go, yeah, sure, we're throwing all this away this year. So sometimes they are just getting rid of all that, the booth stuff, but the products are mostly there to demo the display case or the product itself, and they're in business, so it's not like they have any incentive to just give away stuff. So anyway, yeah, I don't. There's not too much of that. Maybe a backpack company, I guess, might have like, you know, again, they're going to have a bunch of backpacks there so that a company can see or a store can see what it looks like to have a full rack of their backpacks in their store. Like, how the company would like you to display them perhaps or something like that. And then, they'll sometimes if like a store comes in and goes, I'm going to only work with your backpack company. Like all the other backpack companies trying to get in my store, but I like your brand or whatever. They might go, hey, thanks for the loyalty. Like take whatever backpack you want and walk around with it. But yeah, it's just there's not a lot of that. Even like patches and shit, they don't. I mean, patches, I should say, they will give you a patch or something for a promo, but it's not like Savoir or something makes a little pouch and gives it away. Even really, I mean, what you would say?
Occasionally with
Velvet
Savior, they'll have a deal on day one where they'll say, "Come by your booth and do an Instagram post with our booth in the background," and then you come up there and show them your post, and they'll give you one of their gun bags. I know I've gotten a couple that way before, and
they
a
give
lot
us
of people, yeah, right then, yeah, sure did, and
Barrick said, I'd be going as a Type 7. And that Foss is definitely going with me.
occasionally you'll get T-shirts, hats, stuff like that too.
And Roy said, everything at SHOT Show is free for Gizzard. Sticky hands, Gary.
That's right.
true. Yeah, somebody distract them. George or somebody will knock something over on the other side of a booth or make a big noise out in the booth, out in the aisle. That's when he's like, pew, pew, pew.
Well, part of it is I'm short, so a lot of times they can't see me over the top of the booth, so I can reach and get stuff before they even realize I'm there.
Thanks for making such a big order with us. Let me go ahead and grab you a zipper pull to complete the deal. Wait, where did all the zipper pulls go? And then the guy walks away mad and doesn't complete the giant deal.
You just hear giggling, getting softer as it moves away.
No, I, I
Gizzard's doing
learned
math. He has to figure out how many weeks there are, how many zipper pulls are demanded by the viewers.
I learned after a few years of SHOT Show, um, what you don't ask, you don't get. So there were a couple times with IWI where I told them exactly what I was doing with the zipper pulls. I'm like, I would like to have a whole bag to give to my viewers. And a couple different times they reached and gave me a whole bag that had like 100 in it or something like that, and just say, "Here you go." And just got to ask. All they can do is say no. But
Yeah, they ran.
You see
That's the
Gary.
kind of
Hey,
stuff they don't want to take home.
Gary's there. Can I get some zipper pulls? Can I get some patches? Are you gonna finish that sandwich? Roy said a modern day Robin Hood. So I did kind of have a topic, and G Web's talked a little bit about it. This I guess it was afternoon. He starts at noon my time, but they saw a story about the flock safety. Um, they're let me bring it up here. Their license plate readers. That's that um, little thing on the pole. So they're kind of inconspicuous, but they're being put in cities, and uh, this I forget what town it was in the story, but the police department was putting them all over the city, and supposedly the town council didn't even know they were doing it. But so basically, 24/7 all over the city. Here's a. It's collecting all this data, so it's not just license plate, but it'll get your license plate, uh, your car, what type of vehicle it is, the color it is, any. So if you've got any bumper stickers or stuff like that, it'll attach that descriptor to the car, um, and it's just collecting all this data 24/7. So anytime you drive by one, it logs, puts all that information into a little file saying this car was here, this car was here, this car was here, and so at any time they can look where you were, and so if it doesn't even get your license plate, they can still kind of find you based on your car, and then if you had a spoiler on it
Well, it's a
or
fingerprint that it
bumper
creates
sticker.
on more than just your license plate, so that
Yeah,
even if you can't read your license plate, it still knows it's you.
and so from that, then they can, if they have the license plate, then they know who's the registered owner. They may not know who's driving it at that time, but they know everything about the owner of the car. With Flocks, they had actually got caught using hacked information from the dark web, and it came out that they were adding that information to the files. And I guess when that came out, they said, "Oh no, we're not doing that." Um, what are your guys' opinion on this kind of stuff? It's I guess technically not really a constitutional violation because you're in public, but on the face of it, I don't like it. But I don't know. Do you guys feel differently? Because it's
This is
all under the guise of safety.
Oh, it definitely is, and it's to stop crime and stuff. It's just it's our cars only, so you're doing much worse when you walk around with the telephone and a watch. Maybe your wallet a little bit, depending on, if they put RFID readers at butt height around places. But it's just the way it is. I mean, if they weren't doing it with cars, they can do it with facial recognition and what you're wearing and your gait. You know what I mean? Like how fast you walk and all that kind of shit. Who you walk with.
Now, this came up about a year ago in my local Facebook group. A couple people were asking what these devices were. They were on the main north-south highway going through our county, and there was one basically a few miles north of the city I live in and one that's a few miles south. And yeah, it came out that those were owned by county law enforcement, and that's exactly what they were license plate readers just like this. But they said that they were necessary because we're a main north south route. There's an awful lot of drug trafficking through here, also uh, illegal, migration and stuff like that. So that was what they used to justify. But yeah, even in this little tiny county I live in, it's less than 10,000 people. We have at least two of them.
And there were a couple different stories that I've heard having to do with the license plate leader, or right, license plate reader. One of them was somebody got pulled over because they got flagged because they had driven somewhere and then driven back, but didn't spend a lot of time wherever they went. So they got pulled over because the cops wanted to know why he drove over there for only a little bit and then came back. And then the other one was it flagged a car as stolen, but the license plate reader had made a mistake and confused it with another license plate from a different state that was for a motorcycle and they were in a car. But um, I don't know what information came up, but they did a felony stop and it was just a family, driving to wherever they were driving.
I know
Uh,
another similar thing around here is on the Kansas Turnpike. They completely got rid of the toll gates this year, and they've went to a basically a ticketless system where it just kind of either reads your transponder on your vehicle, or if it can't read your transponder, it takes a picture of the license plate, and then it will send it to. It'll basically look you up in DMV and send a bill to wherever you are. But some people have complained about that, saying, well, you have these things stationed at various, mile stops along the turnpike. You could easily compute whether or not someone is speeding based on how fast they traverse between these two cameras. But of course, they swear up and down, we're not doing that. But, they could.
the
That's
they
how they
have
used
that
to do it. That's how they used to do speeding.
they have those a few different places here. One's for the Narrows Bridge in Tacoma. When they built the new bridge, um, they added a toll to pay for it, and they said, "Well, once it's paid off, we'll get rid of the toll." Which once there's once there's a tax, the government isn't going to give up the tax. Um, and so I have the transponder. There's a couple different kind. One is a sticker that goes on your windshield, and then the other is goes on your license plate. And I used to have the stickers. Now I have the license plate one, and it also has cameras. So if you don't have the transponder, it'll take a picture, and then they'll mail you. If you have a transponder, it's the cheapest.
Yeah, that's the way it is here, too. You save like 20% if you have the
There
transponder.
there are toll booths for people who don't have the transponder, and then if you drive through without a transponder, then it takes a picture and then they send you. I think that's the most expensive, is if they send you a bill.
I had to
And then
pay
there's
in Kansas and Oklahoma like that. I got bills in the mail.
also HOV lanes, which um,
I would
but
use
they're
those,
like
but I don't have a hovercraft, so I'm not allowed to drive in those lanes.
uh, that are toll, but um, I, in general, I do not like any of this. I mean, it's it's none of the government business where I'm going, why I'm going. I if you know, I understand that you're in public and you have no right to privacy in public, but I think it is a little different when it's the government doing it, because there are large retail chains that have cameras on their shelves that
Oh, for
will
sure.
track people, and then
Little
um,
things chirping at your phone every time you walk
yeah,
through Walmart or whatever. They know exactly what you're doing. Like you get, like you're worried about when you drive somewhere how long you're going to be there. They know how long you lingered in front of the Twinkies at a Walmart. If you pause or something in front of something, like they know that. And then they're going to calculate that, I'm sure, at some point into their, like, what was this guy looking at? He's this tall and he bought this and this. So
So you're saying we should all go to the gun counter at Walmart and just stand there for like 30 minutes every time we go in?
walk in, go directly to the gun counter, look around,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and do other shopping and leave.
Yep.
No, but I got that from Matt or whatever he was saying about that, I think. Back in the day, they would go in and set up those sensors to track people. But anyway, so I was listening to where I heard about that. It was a cop talking about it here in Arizona, and they use that to get traffickers and shit. And yeah, I think that's kind of cool. It's interesting. I mean, it sucks if you're a trafficker, I guess, because it's pretty tough to evade that kind of thing. Like you have to really do a lot of extra work. But I don't have a problem with them making it difficult to do crimes when crimes are pretty heinous like that. The criminals are gonna do crimes to make money, mostly, right, or just to be evil, I guess. But mostly, it's to make money, and that goes faster than they come up with laws for them to break. You know what I mean? Like to be broken, because I don't know, like internet law for internet crimes, for example. Like the internet had to exist before they could write laws about it. I guess the internet had to exist and people had to do crimes before they could write laws about it. So you know what I'm saying? Like the criminals are going to be criminals no matter what. And if that's a tool that law enforcement can use to help keep ahead of so many criminals being able to work so quickly, I can understand it for sure. But the thing is, what he was saying is that it's successful or whatever for what they're trying to do. But the tool that they're using, like he says, their cop cars have those readers on them. You're talking about ones that the police put up on poles, but he said
yeah,
the ones that they have access to are commercial ones. So like Amazon and Uber, probably. I mean, think of like those robot cars, Tesla, whoever makes the robot cars. Like people like that need to know, or they use that data for their triangulations and their estimates of distance and or what am I trying to say, like the trip distances and times and all that. Like they use that to help calculate traffic patterns, and then scientific shit is probably buying that. Heck, probably Ford and shit probably buy that to see who's driving what kind of cars where and what kind of feedback they can get from it, I would bet. So anyway, that's the police using some infrastructure that's there for commercial use, not just for law enforcement. So it's not something like the law enforcement built, and even if we told them not to use it, somebody else could be using it. Our enemies could be using it. Just an evil person could be using it, probably.
well, that's kind of been a thing for a while. Law enforcement using uh, background check companies to find out information, so that, that you can purchase. Same as you could, there's a company that will do background checks that you can pay to find out something about somebody, and they'll do it that way rather than get warrants to do it.
Now, one thing, talking about those turnpike transponder things, and I didn't think about this until my daughter traded off her car about 2 or 3 months ago. Uh, if you've got those things registered on your state's website and you trade a car, you either need to get that transponder off your window or go in and tell the state you no longer have that car. I basically got billed $5 for that car being hauled away on a transport truck. It was on the turnpike and the reader caught it. And it's like, oh wow. And yeah, I was still liable for it, so
I that happened to me. I had traded in a car and I forgot to take the window sticker off, and somebody
yep.
was driving across the Narrows Bridge, and the only reason I caught it was I had my account was set up so when it reached a certain dollar amount, it would refill, and the credit card I was using for that had expired. So I got a notice saying, "Hey, your account's low. You need to update your credit card information." And I forget it was like $30 worth of trips they got before
But it
before
let
I
you
caught it.
cancel the account then, so that basically a dead sticker.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Basically just say I don't own this anymore and it'll
yeah.
just invalidate it.
They're not like, nope, you're paying it forward. You forgot to take the sticker off. You're buying their tolls.
Well, I had to go ahead and pay the charges incurred, but I could keep it from incurring any more charges. But it's like, yeah,
I
that's on me.
yeah I did argue with the lady, which I don't know. I was in a bad mood to start with. I made her cry, which I kind of felt bad, but I was kind of salty that day, and I knew I was going to pay for it, but I was just trying to see if I could get a refund, which I didn't. So um, yeah,
So
so
what you're
remember to
saying is you did not make this person's day better. Is what you're telling me.
no. The same week I made the newspaper lady cry too.
Oh no.
I don't know. I guess I was having a bad week. Let's see. Going back a little bit, Vulcan Rumble had said there are people videotaping members of Congress on dates, and there are people recognizing them on dates on the videotape. They are distributing the videotapes to news people. If that does not disturb you, I don't know what will. It's creepy, but as long as they're not harassing the Congress members, that they're in public.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that I think they're either doing it because they want to be seen with somebody, like, hey, look, we're having lunch together, we're friends across the aisle or whatever, or like, hey, we're having, our caucus is having dinner together. Like they want the world to know half the time. Like I think that's you know what I mean. They're using media. That's why they go to eat at those places sometimes.
And yesterday's pomade is out there. Said my phone recently gave me an advert for a Carhartt brand dog collar that I looked at a while back. My phone never left my pocket. That'll happen
Yeah, because
after our chats. Stuff that we talk about, I'll start getting ads on Instagram for
so when
stuff.
you're walking down the aisle at a store and they have shelves or whatever, and then there'll be those little things sticking. Like, do they still have things sticking out with coupons? They used to have little things sticking out, like pop a coupon out, or like like getting a ticket at the deli counter. You'd like pull a coupon out, and the next coupon would be there. So, but you know what I'm talking about? Like they'll have a little thing
Yeah.
sticking off the shelf to say like, is there a name for those? There's probably a name for those. It says like this is on sale, or like these are 2 for 1 this week, or we're the cheesiest. And half the time nowadays, those things will have a little beeper in there, a little chirper, and it's just talking to your phone. It's subaudible levels, and your phone either can be turned off or can't. Depends on the kind of signals. But in other words, sometimes you can tell your phone to not participate, but sometimes that's just part of your phone's like ability to get its bearings or whatever and know where it is on the planet. Anyway, they basically are, your phone's out there saying, I'm, so and so, I'm so and so, I'm so and so, hello, 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 looking for a Wi Fi network or whatever. And the shelves are saying, hey, thanks, or like, want a coupon, like depending on what kind of app you might have running. But, let's say you have like the Walmart app, you walk up to that part of the shelf and it says like, hey, you walked close to the Cheetos. You want 50% off Cheetos? It's like that kind of shit.
X1 said, I use Apple Maps speed check ahead feature. It saved me potential tickets from time to time.
Yeah, me too. That is kind of handy.
You seen Matt Mallory post a thing? He's like, cops use Waze too. And he's like poking the cops gone button in his cop car.
Yeah. Vulcan Rumble, it all shows up on a spy satellite. Every piece of electronic produces additional radio waves. They all categorize under the FCC ID number on the back label of the product.
Yep. Every time you use any electronic product, there's a satellite that records every single time anybody uses an electronic product. Right now, I'm being recorded for running like 200 of them.
Adam wants to tell us about the time you made a baby cry. I stole its candy.
Yeah, that baby shouldn't have had that candy.
Two Live Move Foss making chicks cry since 1980.
Old chick.
I don't know. I did not go in with the intent to make anybody cry. It just,
You were just willing to.
yeah. She's like, I understand. And I'm like, apparently you do not understand.
Do you run a VPN on your internet?
I have a VPN. I told you I had Proton. And I don't really use it. Got it mainly so when my wife's traveling from here to there, she can get either stuff from there or here.
Mm-hmm.
I get some conflicts with the internets where it'll get confused and then stop working, and then I have to reload the page. If I turn it off, all that goes away. But what were you asking?
Oh, I thought you were done. Do you use a VPN, Gizzard?
No, I don't.
It's not like a necessary piece of security, but I'm going to start using one. They're as cheap as $5 a month, so like for a good one. So I'm going to get one.
I don't remember how much I paid. I went ahead and paid for a year.
I think yours is $10 a month for Proton, but it gives you more than just the VPN. It gives you some other shit also, like 4 tools, I think.
Yeah, and there's I think the email, but I don't really use any of it. So, yeah. So that's a close-up picture of the Phlox camera.
Well, it's possible if it bothers everybody, then the same thing will happen to them as what happened to the stoplight cameras. What do they call them? Red light cameras.
My first thought was what's going on in England with their congestion tax cameras around London. People are just cutting them down.
So they got cameras that will look and see if you're out when it's busy, and you get an extra tax for that, like a toll for being out when it's busy.
Yeah, something like that. But they're just cutting the poles down, or spray painting them, putting bags over them.
I feel like vandalism doesn't happen in England, but I'll take your word for it.
I thought they were a polite society.
Yeah, their bobbies don't even have guns. They just walk around with a little club.
Well, they'll arrest you for making somebody feel uncomfortable on an internet post. Mm-hmm. Vulcan Rebel said it's not a question of whether it's being recorded. The question is how many governments are recording it. And X Adam 1 some YouTube videos won't play because of the VPN. My rewards app for Whataburger won't work with it. Online gambling sites won't work if your VPN is out of country.
Yeah, well, that's sort of the reasons people get them too, is so they can basically say whatever country they want to be in. You can get glasses that basically make the cameras goofy. You can get clothing that has patterns on it that glitch the cameras. I've seen lots of interesting things for people that are not happy with being recorded all the time. So there's things that you can do passively, I guess. Was that what?
Well, and the masks you can get there, it's a sheer material with the face, kind of screen printed on it.
Oh, right, that look like somebody else's face, or like
Yeah.
somebody, just a face.
And I mean, I haven't seen any in person, but the videos of them, they look really realistic. It's a 2D image, but when you're looking at it, it's done so well. It looks like somebody's face.
Oh, for sure, especially when you have it like on a whatever that's called, like a gator, I guess. But because of COVID and bullshit, they and everybody was wearing masks for a minute. They figured out how to make a fingerprint of you, not just your face anymore. So now it's your height, your height compared to other people, your gait, like all those kind of like your stance. It's like they got all that in your fingerprint at this point. So you can wear whatever mask you want. They still know who you are. Plus, they're not stupid. Like if you go to this place every day, then they know it's you. Like you're not getting away from that. Plus, they can triangulate it with your phone. So, you know what I mean? Like if they think it might be you in front of them, and then also it's your phone shows you standing right there. Like, we're beyond the point where, I mean, you'd have to really spend a lot of time you'd have to put a lot of time into not getting in front of cameras if you didn't want to get in front of cameras anymore. Because there's you'd have like a very few routes across the country, in other words, to not be on cameras all the time. And you probably can't get through any town without being on some camera. When you start thinking about doorbell cameras, you're screwed. Those are designed to see out into the street, and almost everybody has them on their house at this point.
I do. I have a Ring camera. It looks, from where it is, you can see my wife's car, a little bit of the yard, and then a little bit of the street. I set the detector to be basically just my wife's car, so it's not detecting everything that comes in, but the view is more than what it's set to alert me to.
And Ring was built with the police, so they have access to it. And if you think about like mapping, like you've seen like the scanners that can scan something for a 3D printer or whatever, or like drones can fly overhead and scan the ground, and they can make a 3D rendering of the ground, like a 3-dimensional rendering of the ground. So you think of that technology where you use the 2-dimensional image that comes in from the camera and turn that into a 3D scan. And now you imagine the police who have like a big control room or whatever, and they can see all the houses that have one of these cameras, and they're all taking these like pizza slice, from the camera going out. There's like a wedge or a pizza slice kind of shape going out into the street, like you're saying. And they're all going to be blocked a little bit by a bush or something. But for the most part, when you start thinking about what the police are going to see, if they put all their cameras together, they're going to see up and down most streets in town. They're going to have, technologically, I don't know if it's there yet, but theoretically, they've got the ability to have a camera on almost every street in a neighborhood. And if someone were tearing through a neighborhood, it wouldn't be hard for like a Matrix type of AI or whatever brain that could coordinate all that to be like ready, like, I'm seeing this guy tear down the neighborhood. So, be ready to see it. Yep. I just saw it go down in front of this house. Now I just saw it, it's either going to go left or right. Nope. We saw it go left in front of this house. You know what I mean? So they won't even have to have cops in pursuit. They'll just be able to use those cameras to monitor bad guys driving around or whatever the problem is. You following me?
Yeah, I I was aware of that, um, but I still haven't.
And then our Wi-Fi's do the same thing. So it's not like those are just the cameras because we think they're cool because we can see through them, but Wi-Fi's are doing that in 360 degrees. And if you think about, that's what Apple is. The whole Apple infrastructure is just there's very few Apples that aren't within touch of each other. So, all those Apple phones are their own internet out there. All the refrigerators are their own internet out there. If they're within each room of each reach of each other, they're talking to each other. So you get an
That's
apartment building or
yeah.
something, and they're going to have their own like Frigidaire network. That's
I hadn't realized that that's the way AirTags work.
yeah.
Is they wait for an Apple device to come by and they communicate with it.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, I don't know if you can turn that feature off or not, but basically anybody that walks by becomes your repeating station.
Whenever somebody who owns an iPhone turns off that feature in real life, they become very sad and gloomy and then despondent until they turn it back on, and then they feel happy and connected in a way, and very.
Now I happen to be an iPhone guy, and a couple of years ago they changed some of the features on iOS to where when you turn the phone off, like you shut the phone completely down, you can't shut it completely down. Certain features such as location information runs all the time and can't be shut off.
Right, that's the internet of Apple or whatever. That's how they keep that network going. No, nothing wrong with that. It makes sense. They're giving you those phones at a massive discount in some respects because of that, right? Or at least it's factored into that infrastructure is factored into the cost, and it's like ability, right? Like that gives it the ability to create Apple or what are those things called, iTags or whatever.
Hmm.
I mean, which basically don't even need a battery, right? They just are little dimes, like look like 3 or 4 dimes stacked together.
Yeah, they got a watch battery in them.
Oh, they do.
I have four of them. Yeah.
Okay, but still, with just a little watch battery, that thing is basically a locator on the whole planet because you're almost always within view of an iPhone. So I mean, it might as well be a locator for the whole planet without GPS, just the Apple infrastructure.
Vulcan Rumble said if you use a VPN, you can get F1 races with really good announcers from United Kingdom. The American announcers are just crap. I quit watching when when I stopped getting the channels, but I liked when they were on Fox. I liked the announcers. It was one British guy, one American guy. And then when they went to ESPN and they started using the Sky uh, announcers, I didn't like it. Ron Wayne is out there. Said I miss road maps I used to pick up at rest stops that would cover the entire hood of my car.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah,
bunch of road maps on this last trip, but for a while there, you couldn't even get them at rest stops and stuff. It was like they were out of vogue, but they're pretty much all the states out west here had them again. Like
I
after,
had. I think I've mentioned it before, but I had. I can't remember if I got it. I bought 4 tires. Might have been. I think that's where I got it from, like Les Schwab. But it was um, all 50 states, maps for all 50 states. And I had a couple of them. I gave one to a friend, and I don't know what happened to the set we had.
you're talking like a big ass book.
Well, no, they were individual maps, but they were in kind of like when you got a book that's in a pack in a cover, so all the books fit in the cover.
Yeah, yeah, like CDs or something.
Yeah, yeah. It was like that, and I wish I had held on to that, but I don't know what happened to it.
Was there a Hawaii and Alaska in there?
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was all 50 states. Yeah,
I like them books. I used to get them books all the time at the end. I would still get a state map, but I would like that in them books because they have like those close ups of the cities and shit. Just handy to have.
Two Live Moose said our rescue dog has an air tag. It was useless when she escaped our sanctuary.
If you give the dog an iPhone, then you wouldn't have to worry about it. So as far as getting Windows 11, I don't see any reason not to. I've got Windows 11 now. I don't love it, but it's not. I don't know if any ways bad or anything, and it's going to have the longest life of any operating system you could get at this point.
I upgraded this laptop to Windows 11. The desktop, I will do, but I have to kind of do. It want the chip. God, I forget what it is. There's a hardware problem. Um, so Microsoft says, "Oh, this you can't do it," but there is a workaround. I just haven't sat down to do it
The
for the
workaround,
desktop.
the workaround is to buy a computer that was made after the 1990s.
Workarounds to buy a Mac.
No, I'm not going to join the cult of Apple.
The hard part isn't paying for the Mac. It's having to get the robe and the ritualistic haircut, and then to learn all the different sayings you got to learn.
You get used to it.
Becomes a way of life.
You know what they say, once you go Mac, you never go back.
That's because they won't let you.
Yeah, there's part of your initiation. They make you destroy all your Windows machines. They're like, oh, you want to use this control panel? You have to destroy a Windows machine in order to use this control panel.
Oh,
Fellow would do. Run away and just play with some other dog.
I wanted to get rid of you. There we go. But so with the camera stuff, I officially do not like it. I don't like the government doing it. Excuse me.
Bless you.
X Adam 1 said my new MacBook Pro is running Sequoia. It's a 2024 and no touchscreen, but I like the hardware because it lasts. Other one is still running, but it freezes during editing or too many tabs from 2016. X Adam 1 set in some Gorn. So let me bring that up. And I saw that Moo sent something in, and I'll take a look at it here in just a second. Hang on. Let me. Well, I wanted to check to see if X Adam 1 said what we're looking at, and he didn't. But Republic of Texas. Texas. Oh, I kind of like that.
And now we know his serial number.
It's a SIG.
You can tell by serial number. Oh.
No, it says sour ink over here.
When you live in
Yeah, so
Texas, you're obligated to buy these. You're not allowed to not buy one that isn't written Texas written all over it.
well, isn't there a daily requirement? You have to tell people you're from Texas a certain amount of times per day.
Exactly. This will count. You can wear this around. Alternatively, you can also talk shit about Oklahoma. That counts as talking about Texas.
Yeah, except one said 6 hour 1911, my awesome Texas edition ones. Yes, the supposedly, I'm using quotes, supposedly poor X Atom 1. It says fancy, expensive guns. Ah, go away. And Moo sent in a picture of a knife, a knife. Oop.
Looks like a buck.
I believe it is. I didn't open the email, so I don't know if he actually said what it was. He's got the sheath oiled up pretty good. Or is that like meat grease from his hands?
There are no barbecue knives, just barbecue sheaths.
Ooh. Now we know
Oh,
his
okay.
secret email.
I just got one of
It,
those round knife sharpeners in the mail where you like have a magnet that holds the knife at a certain angle, kind of perpendicular to the table, and then
yeah,
you in the circle back and
like
forth.
the
But
tumbler or whatever.
yeah, I don't know if it's the good kind where the thing has a cam and it goes at a different speed than you're rolling it, or if it's the cheap kind that it's all connected and however fast you roll it is the speed and direction that the stone is going to go.
Uh, so Moo had said it. Check your knives. I checked my Buck 119, and it had green corrosion on it. Polished it for a couple hours, and it's good to go. Uh, and he put mink oil on the sheath. How much oil do you get when you juice a mink?
I think you comb its hair and it gets all over the comb when you use that.
So could you use Aegis on that?
On your mink, I guess.
It'll stop it from squeaking.
You get one of them containers that they make for suppressors now and just put your mink in there. Let it swim around. That would lube it up. You'd have the slipperiest mink in the whole city.
I have used it.
Try to grab my mink.
Except once. Did I ever send you the black version of that gun, or did I just say it and never ship it? Forget sometimes. No, I don't believe you did.
Well, it's the black version, so you meant to ship it, but then it fell down the crack between your safe and your workshop or your work table, and it's just sitting there still.
Moose said he did use some Aegis cleaner.
Are we doing a bracket today?
Oh, we can. Did we want to?
I didn't sleep at all today. Normally, I sleep from like work show till the show starts. So I'm fading.
Um,
You see, I was trying to do a game show with like 6 degrees of separation kind of concept.
I saw that. I didn't watch it. I didn't.
Well, nobody ever wanted to do it, so I never did it really. I went live for like 20 minutes with Night Strike, and he didn't like doing it. And then there's really no way to do it with the audience. I wonder if I should keep trying to do that or not. Like, does it sound interesting or does it not sound interesting? But basically, coming up with like, let's say, Browning, and then I don't know. Browning's a tough one because he's pretty easy. But you pick two things, like an inventor and a gun, or an inventor and a movie or something, and then try to figure out a connection between them.
I don't know. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking it would just be a different way to have sort of a discussion that isn't focused around any thing of the week, or what am I trying to say? I'm getting tired. The news of the week, or at least isn't tethered around there. But yeah, I don't know. I maybe I have to come up with the rules better.
Yeah. So we can do a bracket. I have one ready to go. Well, I have one almost ready to go. Usually I'll fill out the brackets before the chat, and I forgot today. Let me do a couple things here to open that. So and I can show the pictures. So I've got Star Wars ships. I did not put X-Wing or Millennium Falcon. So Star Wars ships outside of those two. There's an A-Wing. The Delta 7. This is from, I can never keep straight, somewhere in the, wasn't Phantom Menace. I don't know if it was Clone War or, I think it was
This
Clone
one
War.
is when what's his face Obi-Wan is going and he gets Grievous, right? He's going.
Yeah, this one has, I couldn't get a good picture with the ring, so it can do hyperspace, and then it leaves the ring behind.
And then
can
he goes
fly
down
around.
and he climbs around on that lizard
Yeah.
for a while, or he rides that lizard around.
This is the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels, the cartoon. It is in Rogue One, I believe. It's not. It's just kind of a background ship. Naboo N1 Starfighter. A Naboo Royal, the Royal Starship from Phantom Menace. Also from Naboo, the Royal Cruiser. This one gets blown up. Coruscant.
Just default to all the Naboo ships. It's going to be a 32 thing panel or 32 thing bracket, and 24 of them are Naboo ships.
The Razor Crest from Mandalorian.
I was going to say from Serenity.
Imperial Shuttle.
One of my favorites. That's like the Learjet.
Slave One. It's Boba Fett's ship.
Boba Fett is a bounty hunter, Gizzard.
Okay.
Snow Speeder. from Empire Strikes Back. The Solar Sailor. And I forget which one this is from, but this is Count Dooku's ship. Rides on the solar winds. Excuse me. A Star Destroyer.
Oh my goodness. At least they're all the same scale. It's like a whole bunch of 2-seaters and then like a 7,000-seater.
TIE Bomber. TIE Fighter. A U-Wing. On this one, the wings fold out. A Y-Wing. And that's the last one. So I need to actually finish filling out the bracket. I kind of started. But this is why I like to do it before the chat, because it's not very exciting to watch me type.
I think the Star Wars ships beat the Star Trek ships any day.
There's enough love in my heart for both universes. I like them equally. But they're different. So comparing them isn't that easy. They're different universes.
And they're different in the respects that Star Wars has cool ships and Star Trek doesn't. That's one of the ways they're different. You are using the wrong font, I agree. I can't believe we're doing it in this font still.
Well, I gotta...
And this text color.
Put this up here for a second.
I'm in one of those places where if I don't actively stay awake, then I doze and then I wake up 30 seconds later after having been asleep.
Well,
I'm slipping. I might not come back from you one of these times is what I'm saying. I'm trying not to sit too comfortably.
Just hold on while I get this filled out. Then we can
speed bracket this. Gizzard is completely fluent with all these ships. He knows everything about every one of these ships and the drivers and where they came in the movies, how many movies they've been in.
See, I'm from the other side of the Star Alliance, so...
Star Alliance.
You've never heard of that before?
You mean like Star Trek more?
That's a collective of people who are fans of either Star Wars or Star Trek. Okay. And people who are fans of both, they call the Star Alliance.
Oh, so, okay.
I read that somewhere.
Almost done here. And I'm missing one.
What was after the Snowspeeder? You had a bunch of stuff after the Snowspeeder.
Well, I didn't write these in order of the pictures. I think I'm missing the Naboo shuttle.
Oh, okay.
The Royal Cruiser. That's the big bomber looking one.
Is that like Royal Caribbean? Same thing, or?
They're probably. Well, I don't think there's a buffet.
Same company. Okay.
Oops. Let me go.
Just different routes, but same company. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Let me
cool. That's the big cube or whatever. That's if you're going to be bored, you might as well have a big cube.
Yeah. If you don't have a
So
Borg on there, it's not a real bracket.
let me shuffle these. Give it a good shuffle. There you go. And let me recenter. There we go. All right. So first, we've got the Naboo cruiser. That's the big World War II bomber wing against the Imperial shuttle. Gee
The
whips.
Naboo Cruiser is the big chrome one, isn't it?
Well, they're all chrome.
Well, I guess, but it's the giant one that they crash into Luke's dad's. No, yeah,
No, it's the one
Yeah,
they
it's
land on
chrome.
Coruscant and it gets blown up because they're trying to kill Princess Amidala. It
Oh,
looks like uh,
the
the
yellow
wing
one.
bombers.
The yellow one.
No. The big silver. Well, there's two silver ones. One's a pointy one,
Yeah,
and one looks like the bombers that look like a single wing.
yeah. I just don't remember that
Designs.
one, I guess. Well, I don't like
Yeah,
the Naboo stuff. I kind of like the one, but anyway, I don't really like the Naboo stuff, and I definitely like the Imperial shuttle. So the Imperial shuttle is one of my favorite ships.
Xatom One wants to know if I can show him again. Do we want to look at him again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I can. It's a little bit of a pain because um, I have to stop screen sharing and then re-screen share. But hang on, I got to open up the files again. So, all right, let's close that. Share that. Share that. All right, so we've got the A wing. It's a rebel fighter. The Delta 7. It's a Jedi fighter. The Ghost. It's a rebel fighter. The Naboo fighter. The Naboo Royal starship. It's the pointy one. The Royal Cruiser, Naboo Royal Cruiser. That's the big wing. Razor Crest. That's a Mandalorian. No, I can't show two windows at one time. The Imperial shuttle. Slave One. That's Boba Fett. Snow Speeder. That's on Hoth. They take down the walkers, the AT-AT walkers. Solar Sailor. It's Count Dooku. Star Destroyer. TIE Bomber. TIE Fighter. The U-Wing. And I think this was just the... now I forgot the name of the jet. I don't know why I just blanked on the name. When they steal the Death Star plans. They get blown up in the end. I really like the movie. I don't know why I just forgot the name of the movie. Y-Wing. That's all of them. Rogue One, thank you. Rogue One. I really liked Rogue One. So let me close those out and go back to the bracket. All right. So, G-Webs, the Naboo Cruiser, the Big Wing, or the Imperial Shuttle?
That shuttle.
Shuttle. Gizzard.
Well, I'm not going to go with anything that says Imperial because I'm against imperialists, so I'm going with the Naboo Cruiser.
Naboo. Um, I'm going to go with the Imperial Shuttle because it's cool. So now we've got the Razor Crest against the Solar Sailor.
Definitely not that solar thing, and the Razor Crest is pretty cool. So
One for the Razor. That the concept of the Solar Sailor has been around for a long time. The NASA came up with the idea. I think it was NASA riding the solar winds. Gizzard, Razor Crest, or the Solar Sailor?
Well, I do use a Razor anymore, so let's go with Razor Crest.
Have you seen any of these movies and or TV shows?
No.
All right.
I saw the original Star Wars movie when it came out in theaters. It's the only one I've seen.
Yeah, I was prepared for you and barbecue. I was going to give out a warning about the, you know, for people to be prepared for the ignorance of the topic, and not. I don't mean that in a derogatory manner, derogatory way. It's just a fact. You're you're not aware of these movies.
That's accurate.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Razor Crest because the Solar Sailor is kind of dumb, and the one in the movie is really fast, but I don't think in real life they would be that fast, being pushed by solar winds. Yeah, Two Light Moose said ignorance is a superpower. I don't know if it's a superpower, but sometimes it is bliss. So now the Snow Speeder versus the Naboo Fighter. Nope,
Snow
not the
Speeder.
fighter. The Royal ship, the pointy one.
Snow Speeder.
Maybe there we go. Snow Speeder. Oh, Gary.
I kind of thought the Snow Speeder was cool.
Snow Speeder. Yeah, well, now when I watch um, the Snow Speeders, all I see is that you can see through the dashboard because of the limitations of the special effects. So you can see the ground through the dashboard, through the front display. It's not, you're not looking at the screen, you're just looking through the hull of the ship. But I'm going to go Snow Speeder. So now we've got a TIE Fighter versus Slave One. G-Webs. Uh-oh, did we lose him already? I was trying to go fast so we didn't lose him. Oh, he may have drifted off. Well, we'll go to Gary.
Oh, decisions. I have seen a TIE fighter before because I did have nephews and stuff who were into the Star Wars stuff. So let's go with the TIE fighter.
TIE Fighter. Are you there, G-Webs? Did we lose you? Oh, I I guess I wasn't fast enough. Well, what we can do, hang out here. We'll start. Uh, let me start a poll so we can bring in a third vote. We'll let the chat vote on this one. Oops. So, TIE Fighter or Slave One. So the poll is up, and everybody vote. We'll give it just a little bit here so people can vote. I'm going to say TIE Fighter. I think the TIE Fighter is cooler than Slave One. Personally. Moose said he voted. He did his duty. So we'll give it just a few more moments. TIE Fighter is leading. Slave One is making a comeback. And so we're going to end the poll, and the TIE Fighter is going to win. So TIE Fighter moves on. So now we've got the Naboo, the Royal Cruiser, against the Fighter. And if you wake up G-Webs, you can jump in anytime. Gizzard. So it's the pointy ship against the Fighter.
I gotta go with Fighter. Go with the Fighter.
Fighter. I got to remember to start the poll earlier so the chat can vote. So Naboo, your ship against the Naboo Fighter. So the poll is up, and I didn't start with the intention of having so many Naboo ships, but trying to come up with ships that were cool enough to be on there was kind of tough. So we'll give that just a few moments. I'm going to go, I think I'll go Fighter. Mandalorian did end up with a Naboo Fighter after his Razor Crest was destroyed. So we'll give it just a few more moments. And, it's a back and forth battle. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and end it. And the chat voted for the Royal ship. I'm a little surprised by that. AAF, American Ammo and Firearms, is out there. Good evening. So now we've got the Delta 7, the Jedi Fighter, against the TIE Bomber. Oh, god damn. Gotta remember, do the poll. I gotta fill out the poll early. Choose. So, TIE Bomber against the Delta 7. There we go. So the poll is up. Get that there. There we go. So Gizzard, are you going with the Delta 7 or the TIE Bomber?
Well, I've tried Delta 8 and Delta 10 before, so Delta 7's got to be good too. So let's go with that.
Delta 7.
TIE Bomber.
TIE Bomber.
It just shuffled up to have a wing and a Y wing next to each other.
Well, we had the last round was Naboo against Naboo. So the chat, go ahead and end the poll. The chat chose the Delta 7. I'm going to go, I think I'll go Delta 7 also. If it was Delta 7 against the TIE Fighter, then I would have went TIE Fighter. But Delta 7 moves on. So now we've got A Wing versus Y Wing. And I think I'll go ahead and keep letting the chat vote since we started. Y Wing. So we've got the poll is up. So go ahead and vote. So G-Webs, A Wing or Y Wing?
Y wing.
Y Wing. Gizzard.
A Wing.
A Wing. A Wing. So I think I'm going to give my votes. Let the chat be my votes. That way we never end up with a tie. If I were to vote, I think the Y Wing. I think I would go Y Wing. But ooh, it's tied. Oh no, Y Wing is pulled ahead. We'll give it a few more moments. There's 7 votes. We had been at 10 votes, so there we go. We got 9. Give it just a few more moments in case anybody else wants to vote. And all right, I'm going to end the poll. The Y Wing. Y Wing is going to move on. Now we've got the Ghost. That's from the Star Wars Rebels, the animated series. against the Star Destroyer. And the poll is up, so the chat can start voting. G-Webs, the Ghost or Star Destroyer?
So pretty much all of these are like 2 people, maybe 6 people. And then the Imperial Star Destroyer is 47,000 people. So, Imperial Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer.
One of the best spaceships ever made.
Gizzard.
I got to go along with the Star Destroyer.
9,000 officers, 27,000 enlisted crew, 200 spaceship or space fighter pilots, 9,700 stormtroopers.
I have one that's, I don't know, foot long, maybe just a little bit longer. And it makes all kinds of noises. Boom! Boom! And then laser noises. Doo-doo. Oh, so we'll give it just a little bit, but the Star Destroyer is way out ahead.
If we vote for it, then they can't do nothing except either agree or complain, but we're going to win if we both vote for it.
Ron White asked, did it ever actually destroy a star, though? I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, and the Star Destroyer moves on. And I had debated whether to leave the Star Destroyer in or not, but there's a lot of ships, not a lot of cool ships where people are going to know what you're talking about. I mean, some of these people don't know what we're talking about, what I'm talking about. But oops, let's get that over.
So they call it, according to the internet, it's Imperial because it's part of the Galactic Empire. And then it's a Star Destroyer because it's capable of interstellar space travel and not a standard traditional destroyer on an ocean. And then it's a destroyer because it's powerful enough to destroy enemy fleets and suppress threats. So it's not that it shoots stars. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of like saying it's a surface ship versus a submarine. It's a Star Destroyer versus a surface destroyer. But its destroyer is its job, and then star just means it's in space. So not really a designator that it's designed to destroy stars. Like the small satellite that they invented later on.
So we've got the poll up for the next one is the Imperial Shuttle versus the Razor Crest.
That's no moon.
G-Webs.
Star Destroyer. I mean, it's Imperial Shuttle, which I'll take the Star Destroyer later on.
Gary.
I'm going to go with the Razor Crest again.
Razor Crest.
That's from a cartoon, isn't it? I refuse to believe Gizzard's seen any Star Wars cartoons.
No, Razor Crest is a Mandalorian. That was his ship.
Oh, okay.
And he loved his ship. He wanted, when his was destroyed, he wanted another one. We couldn't get one, so he, mechanic, sold him a souped up Naboo fighter. So far, the Imperial Shuttle is leading. We'll give it a little bit longer. There's only 4 votes. Everybody fall asleep?
It's hard to stay awake. Play a bunch of noises from the star battles.
Pew, 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 pew.
You see how they make some of those noises by going up and smacking the wire on a antenna or like a
Yeah. The Foley work. Oh,
Can't you make them vote faster?
no.
Try shaking them. They'll vote faster if you shake them or threaten them. I try threatening them. They'll
Ah,
vote faster.
so we've got 6 votes out there. The shuttle is still leading. The Razor Crest was making a comeback.
Yeah, it's never gonna
The
be.
shuttle pulled back ahead. So we'll give it just a few more moments. Can't go too long, otherwise G-Webs is going to fall asleep. That's why we're going a little bit fast here. So I'm going to go ahead and end it. And the Imperial shuttle is moving on. So are we going to end up with a shuttle versus a Star Destroyer?
Probably.
Snow Speeder versus TIE Fighter. Oops, god damn it.
It's that one TIE fighter, right? Or is it a TIE bomber or a TIE fighter?
The TIE Fighter, but I got to remember to make the poll. Make the poll. I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with myself. There we go.
Yeah, you're not the same when you haven't had a Snickers.
What do you mean? So the poll is up. So G-Webs, TIE Fighter, or Snow Speeder?
That's pretty tough. I'm gonna go TIE fighter though. You can go up into space.
TIE Fighter. Gizzard.
TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter. Yeah, but the Snow Speeders are kind of cool, but against the TIE Fighter. Ooh. On the poll, the Snow Speeder is winning. The chat seems to like the Snow Speeder. We'll give it just a few more moments out there.
It'd be fine if you're gonna spend all your time on Hoth. Or in Wisconsin.
It'd probably work in North Dakota too. So I think we'll go ahead and end the poll. And the chat shows the Snow Speeder. But the TIE Fighter is going to move on.
Snow speeder can't go into space. It can't even go out off the ground hardly. It's more like a hovercraft. Almost all the other ones can go into space though.
Oh, darn it. I was typing stuff in the wrong spot. So the Naboo Fighter against the Delta 7. So the poll is up. G-Webs, Naboo Fighter or Delta 7?
What's a Delta 7 again?
That's the Jedi one. That's the Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah. That one's cool. I'll take that one.
Delta 7. Gizzard.
Delta 7.
Delta 7. Between these two, I think I like the Naboo Fighter a little more. I don't love either of these two designs, but I think I would lean towards the Naboo Fighter, personally. But in the chat, the Delta 7 is winning by quite a bit. We'll give it just a few more moments.
Well, I feel like if you don't vote fast, then your vote doesn't count.
Well, we do want people to make
These are
considered votes.
These are spaceships. Can't wait around.
So we'll go ahead and end the poll. The Delta 7 won by quite a bit. Delta 7 moves on. So now we've got, choose, got a Y-Wing against the Star Destroyer. So the poll is up. G-Webs. Y-Wing or Star Destroyer?
All right, so I put in here, what is the point of a Y-Wing? And it says it's to serve as a versatile and durable starfighter bomber for heavy assault and bombing missions, particularly effective against capital ships, ground targets, and escort roles. Known for its resilience, firepower, and over maneuverability. It's often described as a workhorse for its ability to carry a heavy ordnance load and provide crucial support in long-range strikes and close air support. Star Destroyer, 57,000 or 47,000 crew wins. Plus, it's a giant triangle. It's awesome.
Star Destroyer. Gizzard.
Gotta go with the Star Destroyer again.
Star Destroyer. I kind of wish I had left the Star Destroyer off now.
It could also be described as a giant piece of mechanical pizza. Yeah, it's like going to obviously clobber all these other ones. Like, a little two-person thing that can't go into space versus 47,000 crew, 9,000 stormtrooper, Star Destroyer.
Well, the chat, we'll give it just a few more moments. The Y-Wing is winning in the chat.
Liberals. It's a liberal vote.
So I'll go ahead and end that poll for the chat. The Y-Wing. A little surprising, but now poll. So we've got the Imperial shuttle against the TIE fighter. So the poll is up. G-Webs, shuttle or fighter?
Well, it says that the TIE fighter would run circles around the Imperial shuttle, but I'm still voting the Imperial shuttle.
Imperial shuttle. X-Adam1 said it looks like a slow ship, though. He's talking about the Star Destroyer. Does it have smaller ships like a boat or not? Yes, it has. Carries TIE fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, shuttle or TIE fighter?
For
What was that?
I said if the other ship carries TIE fighters, it must be because they're super cool. So I'm going to go with the TIE fighter.
Well, they also carry Imperial shuttles.
Well, TIE fighter's still cooler.
So it's a close race out there in the chat. 44% to 56%. We'll give it just a few more moments.
The Imperial Destroyer carries 72 TIE fighters, 48 standard TIE fighters, 72 hold on, 72 TIE fighters, 48 standard TIE fighter fighters, 12 bombers, and 12 interceptors. But it can vary. And then they also carry a number of AT-ATs and ATSTs.
I decided not to do. Well, I guess I did do a TIE fighter variant because I did a bomber. But because you've got like the interceptor, and then there's a whole bunch of different other
There's like 4.
obscure.
Yeah, like 10 of them easy.
Yeah.
And the one Darth Vader flies around in is a separate one.
Yeah, I definitely left that one off because it was his. Oh, whoa. It tied up there for a second. Yeah, it's 50-50, so we need one more vote.
Is the Delta 7 also in the beginning of that movie where they have those little spider robots and they're knocking them off and stuff?
There's I think those are different deltas.
Okay.
Because when you look up Delta 7, it showed me different variants, but they called them all Delta 7s. So there's 10 votes. We need one more. We need one more vote to break that tie because it's all tied up right now.
Or else it goes to the Star Destroyer.
One more vote, please, somebody. One more. We just need one more vote. Your vote matters. Whoever votes next will decide this battle. That's how important that vote is.
You just got found a garbage bag full of votes for Star Destroyer.
Well, we got one more vote, so I'm going to close it, and who won it? The shuttle pulled ahead at the last minute. I'm a little surprised.
The shuttle? I thought we were voting on the Star Destroyer.
No.
Oh, I'm on
Shuttle versus TIE Fighter.
No, I'm surprised. I would have thought everybody voted for a TIE fighter.
I thought so too. But there's been some votes in here that have been kind of surprising. But so now we've got the Star Destroyer versus Delta 7. So the poll is up. G-Webs, Delta 7, Star Destroyer.
47,000 people for Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer.
It's basically a city driving around in the shape of a triangle. You think they ever dock by putting them all in a big circle so that they all point, put their points together?
Gizzard, Delta 7 or Star Destroyer?
I'm gonna go for the upset here and go with the Delta 7.
Delta 7.
The one-seater versus the 47,000 crew ship. It's one person and a robot. It's like an X-Wing.
Yep.
Except it looks like a diamond instead of a triangle.
So, out in the chat, the Delta 7 is leading. We might have an upset.
Massive
Cinderella
upset.
story. We'll give it just a few more moments, but we might have a surprise upset.
An empty Star Destroyer is like having your own city in space. You just turn off a bunch of things, have your robots help you out, run around, own your own city.
So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. The Delta 7 is going to move on. It beats the Star Destroyer.
This is incredible. This is because of the King's riots. I blame the riots on this.
So let me get the poll going here.
Oh, the end is so close. So close. And then all I'm seeing is big fluffy pillows and a big wool blanket.
Nice
Imperial
puppy or
Shuttle.
two to snuggle
Yeah,
up
as soon
to.
as I lay down, that little puppy will come over and lay down right next to me, start snoring. He is super tired too because we were out running around. Like, not only am I awake this whole night today, but we've been like running all around. I haven't been running. I went over to my friend's house. My dog, though, they had their own backyard to run around in, so they've been running around this whole time.
So the poll is up. So the G-Web's Delta 7 Imperial Shuttle.
This is tough. I'm going to go with the Imperial Shuttle, though. Because we could own that when we were little kids. The Delta thing, I don't even know if that was ever a toy. But this Imperial Shuttle was a toy. I never owned one. I knew a kid that had one, though. He had one of the giant Chewbacca's also.
I had a X-Wing until I took it apart.
I had an X-Wing.
I couldn't figure out how to put it back together again.
I only ever had one X-Wing. I wasn't that big of a fan of the ships because you could carry around a bunch of dudes, but not that many ships. I really liked the bikers, the speeder bikes when they came out. I thought that was a cool size ship.
So Gary, Imperial Shuttle or Delta 7?
My absolute favorite thing for Star Wars figures is when they would dig out the sidewalks. For some reason, they were like digging out the sidewalks to put pipes in or something. So they would like dig out a sidewalk and then leave. So like for the rest of the evening, we had this giant hole, and we would all jump in there and play like, I don't know, like, it'd make like the wall would be like like it's one of those alien towers or something. Like we'd have it's a whole area to play in. Anyway, I'm tired. Sorry.
Gary, Shuttle or Delta 7?
I'm going with the new champion, the Delta 7.
Delta 7. And the Delta 7 is leading in the poll. The chat, it's 100% so far.
What little robot are you going to use as your co-pilot, Gizzard, in your Delta 7?
It's going to be a little pug-looking thing, I think.
Oh, there you go. Because they may have a little spot for a robot right in front of you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it has to be an astromech.
I'd put a little dome in there and make that little dog sit in there. The whole time you'd just be looking at me instead of looking forward.
Ron Wayne said R4.
That's the square-headed R2s, like that red one.
I don't know. I mean, you can't beat R2, but R2. I would go either R2 or Chopper from Star Wars Rebel. So I think I'm going to end the poll. The Delta 7 won in the chat 100%. It was unanimous.
Massive upset.
This is very surprised.
Barney Fife rides again.
So the Delta 7 has been chosen as the best Star Wars ship.
All right, I'm going to quit fighting it. I'm going to tap out. Thanks for hosting.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for hosting. I'll chat with y'all in a bit.
X Adam 1 said Princess Leia would be my co-pilot. At some point, we'd land on a secluded asteroid. I'm very surprised the Delta 7 won. Going into this, I thought it would either be a TIE fighter or the Star Destroyer. But the people have spoken. So, hang on. I'm going to make you big for a second here, Gary. There we go. I think sometime soon here, I'll start exploring other streaming software. So might do some daytime, just random chats, short chats to test out other platforms.
Yeah, let me know if you need help with that.
Have a good night, Ron. Ron White's heading out. So I don't know. There was a couple that I was kind of looking at, but I don't remember what they're called. I got to go back and look at them all again. Which the EV Bucks is okay, but it's trying to do something it wasn't designed for. It's not really designed for streaming. The problems people have with mobile is one of the big problems for me. That little thing that happens where it pops up, when I close out from screen sharing, then it shows that logo. It's annoying. Which is disappointing because there's a lot I do like about EV Mux, but my subscription is up in December, so if I've got a Switch, I need to find something to switch to. I don't want to go back to StreamYard. Which I don't know. There's a chance I might end up back on StreamYard, but they've done such a good job as a platform. It's it's easy to use. It works, but now it's expensive. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Oh, Gary, was there anything else that you want to bring up?
Did I miss it? Did we cover your poll this week?
Oh crap! I completely forgot about that. I was rushing to get the bracket in because G-Webs was fading. So let me go over to the poll. Thank you for reminding me.
Welcome.
This week's poll was. Let me refresh it here real quick. Sure, we got all the votes and all the comments. Show the new first. Righty. So this week's poll was: what's the cutoff age for trick or treating? 12 years old, 14 years old, 16 years old, or there is no cutoff? It's free candy. 43% said 12. 32% said there is no cutoff. 18% said 14. 7% said 16. And looking at the comments, New York Outcast, tough one. I think if they're in costume playing the part, then age doesn't really matter. Smeggy, I went for real till high school. Then I would still go and walk around, but only got candy from houses I knew. To this day, I trick or treat at my neighbor's house. A boomstick said, just remember, fellow trick-or-treaters, soap easily washes off windows, but paraffin wax has to be scraped off. I think he's talking more of the trick part. Chris Lang, as long as you're willing to put on a costume. Roy Munson, it's not the age that bothers me with the high school kids. It's their lack of effort and enthusiasm. They don't take the job seriously. They're just in it for the candy. I think I have to agree with that because we'll give out candies and you get the older kids that aren't even in costume. I enjoy seeing the little kids in their costumes. It's cute. Sergeant Joe Smith, I identify as a 10-year-old. And I cheat, wait for the kids to come to my door, and then jump out with a chainsaw. They drop the candy and run. I forget what age, like 15 or 16 maybe, was the last time I went. And it was just a few neighbors I mowed for, or parents were friends with, or school teachers or friends' houses. Basically, only people that knew me well. DJ Play Nice at 12 and out. X Adam 1, once you can buy your own candy and let the little minions have some. They're poors like me. G Webs, if you can get a job, you're too old. Independent Thinker, 1 year I gave tampons and disposable razors to those that had gone through puberty. Gizzard, I had a buddy from work stop by my place 1 year with his two kids. After I gave the kids candies, I said to my buddy, I'm sure you don't want candy, which we said I'd take a beer. So I went to the refrigerator and got him a can of beer. Best Halloween ever. His wife didn't think so when he got back to the car, but oops.
She was a reserve sheriff's deputy, so she was not happy at all when he brought a beer back to the car.
Vulcan Rumble, Mom is going to steal the candy, steal the good candy anyway. Um, Imperator Cassius, free candy. I don't remember what age I quit trick or treating at. Uh, I would think somewhere between 12 and 14. I don't think I was trick or treating at 16. I don't recall exactly. That was a long time ago. Oh, do you remember when you quit trick or treating?
I wasn't quite old enough to drive yet, so I'm thinking probably freshman in high school. So 14.
I would walk around with my younger sisters, but I wouldn't get candy. I'd just walk with them, keep them safe.
I'm I My buddy decided to go out, and I can remember Dad had this black overcoat that was hanging out in the garage, and I decided to throw that over me and make it a cape, and I kind of did a Dracula costume out of that. Got some candy. It worked. What the heck?
Trying to think of. I know. I don't remember it, but I've seen pictures dressing up like Mickey Mouse. I remember going as Zorro. My mom kind of put the costume together for me, and I had my Z was reflective, so it was safe. And she carved me a sword out of a stick. I think I went as a cop. My dad was a cop. 1 year. Had
I
his.
went.
I remember taking his mag light. He had one of the like 4D, the big mag lights.
I went
Um,
as a cowboy 1 year. I had this little outfit that had the frills on the leather pants and everything. It's really cool. Then when I was out at work a few years ago, my cousin called me and said that she had found this. That evidently it had been handed down to one of my boy cousins, and the family had still kept it all those years. So I have that hanging in my closet, believe it or not. But I also went as a football player 1 year because I had a a Washington Redskins football outfit because my sisters lived out in D.C. at the time, so they bought that for me. I remember those two Halloweens.
Oh, those are the only costumes I can remember. I know I had, this is back in the late 70s, early 80s, the thin plastic, basically like an overall with whatever costume, and then the plastic mask that you can't breathe or see through.
I can remember my kids. Now, I remember my son going as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one year.
My son, one year he wanted to be a star, so I made him a star costume. Uh, yeah, this thing I was talking about is kind of annoying when it pops up for no reason. Which I put way too much effort into it. Made it out of foam and then covered it with chrome shelf liner, and then put um, battery powered Christmas lights so it would twinkle. After I
Oh,
finished
wow.
it, I realized I could have just made it out of cardboard instead of making basically like a Muppet costume. Um, but I enjoyed doing it. One year he wanted to be a king, so we got him a king costume, and I got a jester costume and walked around with him.
Did you go to any adult Halloween parties where you dressed up?
No, never did.
Okay. I did a time or two.
I don't pretty much what once I stopped trick or treating myself, um, I didn't want to dress up anymore. The one time with my kid I did because that was fun and got lots of thumbs ups.
But I went to this bar had a Halloween party one year. We went to it, and there was this guy, and he evidently made the circuit going to different parties and stuff in this outfit. But he was a dead ringer for Drew Carey back in the day of the Drew Carey show.
Yeah,
Yeah, a young Drew Carey. He even had a fake driver's license at Ohio that had Drew Carey on it and stuff like that. And then his girlfriend dressed up as Mimi, and oh, it was hilarious. Of course, they won. They ended up getting like a trip to like a Caribbean island or something. This was a
wow.
pretty decent prize. Yeah.
I I don't think I've ever been to a Halloween party. Uh, I know I never dressed up for one.
I was at a bar for Halloween once, and they had a costume contest, and I hadn't even planned on going into this thing for. I just happened to be in this place, and this was back in the days when Elvis Gerbach was the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I happened to be wearing his replica jersey that day, so I decided I'd enter as Elvis. I didn't win though, strangely enough.
Uh, yeah, for work, some people will dress up, but I would just go as the same thing every year, a disgruntled employee.
Yeah, but you probably had a lot of competition. I remember out at the nuclear plant one year, I was watching people come through security, and this one gal, it was her first year out there, and she evidently got in her mind that people were wearing costumes, and she wore this devil outfit through security, tail and all. Red tights, tail, horns, and everything. I teased her about it for years after that.
Well, Mr. Gary, is there anything you'd like to let these fine folks know about? Anything you got coming up? Videos you got coming out?
I got a lot of videos coming out because I've got products I need to do videos on. Got lots of knives and cool stuff like that. And Monday night, Foul Territory. And as always, that is at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time on the Gizzard Gary channel. I'd love to see you there. And thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you being here. And I know I had told you that I will be able to make some time. I met in the last week of this November,
Oh,
so not for a while. And
okay.
then maybe the 2 weeks after that. Um, so I hopefully will be able to make it, but not for a little bit.
You're always welcome.
And what was barbecue's uh, bracket he did on his last?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look and see.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. I was just going to mention that people make fun of my brackets.
Let's see. Oops. I'm trying to look and see. Um. Oh, it was villains from Batman.
Oh, Batman villains. Yeah, and who won?
Let's see. Let me go to the end and see if I can see who won.
The art was the artist.
Looks like the final was Poison Ivy versus Doodlebug. And who ended up winning? Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy. So
Yeah.
Poison Ivy won as the best Batman villain, and he makes fun of my brackets.
True.
So I've got short coming out on Monday and then Friday. So for the next few weeks, it'll be Monday and Friday releases, and I think it's Gizzard Gary once again, which
Oh,
the one I put out Friday has like 1,500 views.
yeah. If you want to see me dance, I busted a move there, man.
Which I know in the YouTube world, 1,500 is nothing. But
I
for
didn't
me,
realize you actually caught that on video.
I wish I had turned a little more because I was being static because I was being a tripod. Um, I wish I had panned left just slightly so you could see your back sooner. But yeah, I think that the video coming out is the gun you're shooting, and I think that's in that video too.
Okay.
But
That last one was with Bodyguard.
is that the one it happened with? Was the bodyguard?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably you with your bodyguard. It's the short.
And I've got some footage from Thunder that I need to put together also, but I need to actually add some stuff to it. But I did get some video.
Yeah, I was kind of lazy this year at Thunder on the Prairie.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
just did a few shorts and didn't didn't put a lot of effort into what I was doing. I just didn't Wasn't feeling it. I don't know. Not sure why. I did have fun in total. You know, it's always nice to meet everybody, get to see you,
Oh yeah.
and barbecue and
Likewise.
squib, and made some new friends.
Got some
Phil,
nice gift. Got some nice gifts.
yeah, got a scope. Every year I get a scope, so I got another Monstrum scope. Was it Monstrum? I don't even know where I put
Probably.
it. But every year I've come home with a scope, um, and oh no, it's a Crossfire. It's a Vortex Crossfire. That's what it was.
Oh.
Yeah, whoops. Vortex Crossfire. All the other ones were Monstrum, but I think with the way it kind of shook out this year, the wasn't a lot of time to get sponsorships going and stuff. So, but it's always fun. If anybody's free come June, sounds like it won't be the first week of June. I think Travis said he was going to be busy that first weekend,
Yeah.
but so I would suggest anybody that can go should go. It's fun. Get to meet other people from the internets, people that you chat with, and shoot guns. And there's a competition and all kinds of stuff. I enjoy it, but I think other than that, I appreciate everybody that was out there in the chat chatting it up. If you watch this replay, leave a comment. Whatever we talked about, agree with, disagree with. What's your favorite Star Wars ship? What was your favorite costume, Halloween costume as a kid? I read, like I said, I do read all the comments, and I do appreciate them. I appreciate you. Um, I think other than that, I hope everybody has a good rest of the night. Go do something good.